Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna put that thing. Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order. And so I'll start off with the land acknowledgement, and I'll read it as follows. We would like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that the town of Shelburne resides within the traditional territory and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, including the Ojibwe, Potawatomi, I'm having a problem today.
It's a tricky one to say. It's Potawatomi.
Okay, Potawatomi, Chippewa, and the peoples of the Three Fires Confederacy. These traditional territories upon which we live, work, and play, and learn are steeped in rich Indigenous histories and traditions. It is with this statement that we declare to honor and respect the past and present connection of Indigenous peoples with this land, its waterways, and resources. So we'll move on to the next item, and that's the adoption of the agenda. Is there anybody who wants to make any changes to that? If not, I'll just get someone to move the acceptance of the agenda as it is. Anybody want to put their hand up? Lindsay, so you'll make that motion and somebody second that? Debbie or Deb? Okay, all in favor? And that's should be carried. Okay, and number 3 is any declarations of pecuniary interest. With anything in the items there? If not, that's fine. And then item 4, if everybody's had a chance to look through the July 3rd minutes of the meeting, is there anything there that you want to pull out or change or discuss? Otherwise, we just need a motion to adopt it in a seconder. Lindsay, you're gonna move that? And I just need one person to second it.
Okay, I'll second it.
Yeah, it has to be someone who was at the meeting, so.
And me?
It has to be someone who was at that meeting.
Right. Belle was there, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so all in favor?
Wait, I think it was.
And that's carried.
Yes.
So the item number 5, 5.1 is committee members update. And so we did do that. Hang on a second. Yeah, we had introduced Debbie Van Wyck last time.
So she was introduced.
There?
It wasn't, we didn't have quorum the last time she was here, so she introduced herself, but it wasn't part of the formal meeting.
Again, Deb? Deb?
What's that?
Do you want to introduce yourself again for anybody who wasn't there?
We moved to Shelburne last November and loving it so far, and looking forward to working on this committee with you guys.
Great. Okay, so the next item is the memorial bench update and decision on the wording of the plaque and the installation event for September 28th. So do we have any wording right now with us, Alice, that we're looking at?
Lindsay had prepared some wording.
Okay.
Do you have that there, Lindsay, or do you need me to?
Yeah. I don't think I have it super accessible. I would have to just kind of go quickly through.
I have it.
Else here.
Do you have it, Bella?
Yeah, I have it because it's about Alex.
Perfect. That would be
good out.
It says, in memory of Alex Carter, whose dedication to the Shelburne Soccer Club kept kids on the field.
That's
Okay.
it. I couldn't remember it word for word. I know I wrote it, but I can't remember. I couldn't remember it word for word. So yeah, basically it's just, I didn't want to be the sole voice on approving the wording. I just needed to give Jamie something so that she kind of had an idea of how, what spacing and whatnot and how it would look on the plaque. And then she sent me sort of a mock-up of how it would look, which I don't know if I sent that to Alice or not to include in, I sent it out to, the only person I didn't send it to was Deb because I didn't have her email, but I did send it in an email. That's how you know about it, Bella. And then I sent it to Linda too, but I don't know if it went to the right email. So maybe you didn't get it. But it's just, it's straightforward kind of wording, block style, so that it's accessible for everyone to be able to read. And it just has I believe the Shelburne logo beside it. So all we need to do tonight is just approve it. Pardon?
Do you know the size? Okay, there it is.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
That's
so it would look
great.
similar to that, but have the wording that we just described,
Right.
or just said. So I'm not sure how big it is, but I know it's usually a pretty decent size. Like I think they're kind of almost standard for the benches, so they're usually a good kind of about like that, right? Like they're and then they're mounted right to the bench, as far as I know. Now I think this bench is going to be metal, so I'm not exactly sure how they mount it at that point, but I'll leave that up to the professionals.
And I can't remember, do we have a location which park it's going to be in?
It should be over by the soccer fields, but I haven't heard just yet from town staff as to the precise location. So I think what they needed was the approval for sure of the wordage for the plaque so that they can get the plaque ordered. And then I don't know. I'm trying to remember if Jamie told me that the bench was already ordered. I hope the bench was yeah. Okay. Thanks, Alice. Cause I was like, I really hope the bench was already ordered because that's going to take a while.
Yes. It has shipped and expected arrival is actually this week.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
That's
So
good.
I think
that'll be
if
ahead of
we,
them.
yeah, so I'll reach out to maybe Jamie again even after the meeting. I'll just send a quick email off so that I remember and I don't forget. And I'll just ask her obviously I'll let her know that we approve the wordage once we do, obviously, and that she can get on ordering the plaque for the bench as soon as possible, because if it could make it, within the next 2 weeks or so, I don't know how long it takes. We may, fingers crossed, we may be able to facilitate the location of the bench for Alex's 1-year memorial. So that would be really nice, to have something positive on a day that's not so positive. I think, Bella, when was that? It was September
28th is the
28th.
1-year anniversary.
Right.
What
So
I've done
even
is
if we didn't, even if we didn't do it like on the 28th, maybe we did it on the Saturday, because I think that's a Friday or something like that. So even if we did it on the Saturday or whatever.
Well, what I mean is the September 27th is the Friday, which is his actual 1-day anniversary. But
Right.
then we're doing it Saturday morning, the 28th, if possible, so that I could invite our family and friends and
Right.
neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's what we would sort of be aiming for, which I'm really hoping, it isn't far-fetched. I mean, we've got now like a good over 20 days. So fingers crossed. Yep. Alice.
Public Works staff is aware of the September 28th date. And so their intent is to have everything there set up in place on the 27th so that when you come on the 28th, it's there.
It's ready to go. That's wonderful. Perfect.
So
okay.
The plaque will take about a week to 2 weeks. So that's why we want to get the wording confirmed tonight so that we can get it ordered tomorrow or Friday at the latest. And then it should be here on time as well.
Perfect. That's wonderful. Thanks so much, everyone at Town Hall, for working diligently to facilitate this. So yeah, once we approve it, then everything else will sort of happen from there. And we can hopefully have this for the 28th for you, Bella.
Can you make a speech?
Yeah, like we could do a little,
Sure.
obviously whoever you would like to speak, right? Can do a few little words or whatnot. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. The next item is the,
Sorry,
Oh, wait.
before you move on, can we
Oh.
just get a resolution approving the wording from the committee, please?
so who would like to move that?
I'll move it.
Yeah, okay. Seconded by
I can second that.
Lindsay. Okay. All in favor?
Bob down here.
That's carried. Who's that?
Perfect.
Okay,
Excellent.
so
We can get that ordered.
next item is the keychains. Do we have a design that we can look at to decide on?
That
Wait, oh,
I
sorry,
think-
Lindsay. Lindsay,
Yeah.
can I make it public now, this ceremony?
Let's just hold off for. I just it's hard to say because I want to make sure that we have everything in place before
Mhm.
we sort of definitely make sure. I mean, I really think we're going to be okay with this, and we are going to have it on the 28th. I think even say for example the plaque doesn't come in, at least the bench will be there.
We'll do that.
Yeah. So go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and put it out there. We'll do it on the 28th. We're not sure yet 100% of the time though. So we'll figure that out. I don't know, has town staff, do they want a specific time, or is that okay? You said it'll be ready for Friday anyways. Okay, so you know what, Bella, you make the time, whatever time you'd like. And we'll just make sure that the bench is there. If the plaque doesn't come in for some strange reason, we'll put the plaque on later. It's, you know what I mean? But at least the bench will be there. But I am hoping that everything will be, it should be okay. It should be fine.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted. Sorry.
No,
Thank
no,
you.
no worries, no worries. Go ahead and like I said, make up a little post and we're good to go.
Okay, so that takes care of that one. And then the keychains.
So the design for the keychains is in the agenda package. So Alice, maybe if you can share the screen. Yeah, so that would be it there.
Okay, that looks good.
So
Yeah,
it's the
so
same,
kind of-
it's the same design as what the committee had already approved.
Yeah.
The only change is the year.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Nope, great. That looks good.
So the committee just needs to approve the design and then finalize a budget and or approximately how many to print. So with this particular company, Kyle had been looking into it. The prices change from time to time. The more you buy, the cheaper it gets.
Yeah.
Per item, the cheaper per item.
So do we have the numbers in front of us, like how much it is for 500 or 1,000 or whatever?
No, because I don't know which keychain he was looking at. And when he was originally looking at it, it was one that was on sale. But that one might not be on sale. There might be a different one that is on sale that could work with that
Yeah,
design.
I'm just on the website right now, so I'm just trying to see if I can pull up just really quickly the keychain so we can have kind of an idea. Okay, let me go to the search here. Key chains and just see what kind of comes up. Okay, so I need, there they are. Okay, so this item has one color option, which is white, so the background would be white. If we wanted 250 of them, they would be 87 cents each. No, sorry, if we wanted 500 of them, they would be 87 cents each, so that would be $435. And there is that one-time setup charge, which I think is 65 bucks. Your price includes full color, which, I mean, I guess we don't really have full color. We have kind of black and white, but regardless, on the front of the key tag, setup charge is 65, like I said, and we would receive it in about 10 business days. Fewer and one in print location. Yeah. Okay. So that's for the one.
Can you share the screen so they can see what that one would look like, Lindsay?
I'm looking at it just on my phone right
Okay.
now. So it's
Okay.
it's the one that I had sent before. I don't know. Let me see if I can turn on the light in here. It might help a little. And then it would look similar to, let me see if I've got, doesn't want to pick it up. It's being stupid. There we go. So it kind of look like that, right? So it just has sort of a white background, and then we would just have sort of the black logo that was shown. So it would just be literally like a black and white almost.
Is it plastic?
Yeah, I think it's like a, let me just see if it says exactly what it is, like what the material is. Okay. It doesn't, oh, materials and features. So it's a soft vinyl. And then it comes with the metal ring already on it, the split ring already on it. The size is approximately 1 1/4 inch high by 2.5 inches wide by 1/8 inch deep. So I guess like your kind of like your thickness would be 1/8 of an inch. But yeah, it's considered a soft vinyl. So let me see if it in order to get something a little bit cheaper, let me just see where we gotta go to here. 84 cents at 900 of them. Yeah, so it's really not that much difference from say 500 quantity to 1,000. It really goes from like 85 cents to like 83 cents. So there's not a whole.
Does the setup charge get charged every time if we wanted to reorder another 500 in 6 months or a year? Do we pay the setup charge again, or is that like a one-time setup charge?
Setup charge per order line. So it may be every time because it says per order line. So I'm assuming that potentially would mean every time you order, which does kind of suck, but yeah. There is another one here. Let me just click on this one because it looks like it could be a little cheaper. It comes in red, pink, purple, blue, light blue, green, yellow, black, orange. So I don't think it comes in a white background. The light blue might look nice. And let me just see how much for that. So it's not really going to change anything. Because for 500 we are 87 cents. So I think it's the exact same price. So it just
the setup
like
charge is $13 a piece, so it makes it $1 even per.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So it'd be about a buck even. Yeah, because like you said, if it's 65 every single time, which I can only assume it is because of the wording, then yeah, you would divide 65 by 500, right, to get your cost to add on to the actual keychain itself. So I don't know that all prices are in Canadian, so that's great. It's a Canadian company, so it's going to be sent to us, that way. I'm trying to see if there's a shipping charge on here, but it's not telling me if there is or isn't. Reviews, stories, photos. Just scrolling down quickly just to see here. Yeah, it's not telling me, so I'm assuming I would have to go through the purchase just to see if there is. Sometimes when you pay that much money, though, the shipping's usually free. But it's just not.
I don't imagine it's going to be very much of it, is it, charge?
Yeah, I would hope not. I mean, they're just keychains, so it shouldn't be a whole lot, even if there was a shipping charge. Yeah, so like I said, it would be $435 plus your 65, and obviously tax. And like I said, possibly a delivery charge. Let me just add this to cart and see if I can go in. Okay, so Continue shopping, price details, proceed to checkout. Okay, let me go to proceed to checkout and just see. Shipping method, but it's not showing me. Thing drives me crazy. Just let me know. Okay, I don't want to sign up for this. Continue. All right, I just have to put everything in here, so before it'll give me anything, just bear with me for a second here. Save. Okay, so it would be shipping, ground shipping is $21.65. So unfortunately, they do not give us free shipping even with a $435 order, which is a little annoying. But so it looks like 500 keychains, $435, 65 for our setup. Shipping would be 21. Our tax is $67. Gotta love that. So our grand total is $589.46. So if we give an approval for $600, just in case something changes in the next few days, that would cover 500 keychains.
Okay. Lizzie, do you want to move that motion and then I'll get somebody to second it?
Yep, I can move that for sure.
Bella, do you want to second that? Okay. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, that's done. And so the next item is the curling club murals. And we were going to look at some photographs. Can we do that on the screen?
Sorry, it's a large file. It takes a bit to load.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay, so that's the first one. And then we have the second one. I always like that one.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Actually.
And then that's the one I think we were gonna try to put on the west end of town, but we can't seem to get a hold of the owner of the building.
Yeah, but we've already got that on Paulo's building. Or no, we don't have it. Paulo has it on his building.
It's a nice one.
Yeah, I like that one too. And that one wouldn't be too bad coming into one of the main areas of town.
That one we have now.
Yeah, so that one we've already chosen, so that's great. And that one's nice as well. Because these were all ones, yeah, that we had sort of thought we liked.
There was a
That
winter
was-
one. I didn't see one.
Yeah, I think that was the Fiddleville Parade or something, or a parade anyways. Yeah, I like that one too.
I don't remember seeing that before.
Yeah, I think that one was, we liked it, but we also said it was too plain. Like it was
Yeah.
almost like kind of not, like
It's
the barn was
yeah.
nice, but there wasn't really
Yeah.
a lot of significance to Shelburne with it. So,
Alice, do we have one of the downtown in the winter? There's a couple of winter scenes.
No,
Those gotta
those
be
were
there,
the
I
only
think.
ones that I was given from Jennifer.
yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So, and then I do want to just point out real quick, if I can just share one other file. So these are the murals that were originally on the curling club. So
Right.
that parade photograph that you said you liked as I was
Yep.
going through, an individual had painted it, and this what was on the curling club. And then this
Right.
is the second one that was on the curling club.
Okay.
And then this is the third, this might be the winter one you're thinking of, Linda.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah,
the-
that's the painting, but
but that's the painting
So
version, so I have to keep looking for the photo version
Yeah.
of it.
Right.
Or
Mhm.
you could use the painting version and put the painted version back, whatever the committee chooses.
Yep.
I guess
I
my
kinda
only comment
idea
about that
too, to
is
be-
that the photographs are of the actual time as opposed to a painting. A painting's a painting, but it's not the actual photo of that particular time that was taken.
Mhm. And now we said that the originals that were on the curling club, they're not salvageable. Like, yeah,
They're
Well,
not,
this is the
no,
last
they
one.
are not salvageable. So
that's
that's where, you could use the original photograph and put
Mhm.
the photograph up so it still ties into the painting that was there. Or you could do one of the paintings, or you could do a combination.
yeah. Like, for example, if we can't find the winter scene in an actual photo, maybe we put the painting version of it in the middle, and we put actual photos on either side of it, right? Like different photos on either side. So it's sort of a centerpiece
Well, I
because
know the
it's,
museum has the photograph. Just a matter of getting it if Jennifer doesn't have it. But I know
Yeah.
she used to have it, so I don't know why she's probably got it in her file somewhere.
yeah, which is possible. I think the only thing we were thinking of, to sort of choose off of the photos that we sort of readily had available was just the timeline, right? Because we were thinking maybe of possibly getting at least one done before the snow flies. So
Yeah.
I think that's, if we take more time trying to find the snow photo, and, maybe that could be found for the spring. But if we wanted to kind of think of doing something before winter,
Oh, no,
we
I'm
should-
not saying that we don't do it, so we could do one.
No,
of that.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's just,
Okay,
yeah,
and I-
with the timeline, it was sort of to choose off of kind of what we readily had available. I love the parade one personally. I think that would be a really cool one to kind of put back up. Like I said, sort of makes a nod to the painting that was once there. I guess the secondary one I like was the train station or the Chevrolet, the dealership. So those are the three that I kind of like the most personally, but whatever you guys are thinking as well would be nice. So we have room for at least three, I think, right? Because we had three
We've
up
got
there
room for
originally.
a bunch of them. So just to let you know that the actual, if you look at the front of the curling building, and you look at the panels, it's 11 feet high and 15 feet wide for each panel. So that's fairly big. So that would
Okay.
be like almost 3 panels of the 4x8 LU panels that would be put up. So it would be put together that way and then done that way. So
Okay. So do we
And then
want more than 3
adjacent
foot?
to that, well, we could do a whole number of them, not necessarily all at once, but I'm just saying as far as budget goes, we're also gonna talk about the budget for next year and how much to ask for. So based on what it would cost for materials estimated for one, then we just multiply it by the number that we might want to start with. Between now and
Exactly. Yeah.
next year.
Yeah. And I think that was our point too, was to try and spend some of this money before
Yeah,
the fiscal year ends, so that when we do ask council for more, they're not looking at our bank account going, well, you still have so much that we're not going to give you any more. So
right. So Alice,
Yeah.
do we know what the balance is in our account right now is, or roughly?
So you spent about $500. Not even, I think it was $200 with the previous keychains.
Okay, so what's the balance of the funds that we have?
like $19,800.
That should cover a few.
But
Except we just
council,
100 now.
council won't guarantee that will be carried over to next year. Like, if that is not spent this year, that money is gone. It doesn't
Well, then
exist
we're gonna have to order
anymore.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to order them.
And so you'll have to ask for a new budget for next year with the dollar amount that you think you're going to spend for next year.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why I was pushing for us to really make sure we had this meeting in September so that we could maybe choose a couple of photos for sure, and then put a call out for quotes to get something done basically as soon as possible so that we can spend some of this money in a good way. Obviously, I'm not trying to waste, taxpayers' money, but I want to see some things actually being done.
It's something that's important that shows the history of the town.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
It's kind of boring on the inside. That'll really liven it up again with the photos.
Yeah. And we're hitting a bit of a not so much difficult, but kind of difficult fiscal year for council right now. So like like Alice mentioned, they may take the money away from us and put it towards something else. So yeah. And like I said, if they allow us to keep what we've got, they're not going to give us any more because we're really tight this year, and we've got some issues coming up with some of the infrastructure in town. So where we have to make decisions. So I think
going ahead or not, the infrastructure.
I would love to move ahead with definitely choosing at least maybe 2 photos today to put on.
The infrastructure. Is it going ahead?
Oh, it depends on like what we're sort of talking about, but yeah, we still have to sit down and discuss.
Have you got anything back about from the province in terms of their money that they supposedly have for everybody?
We were denied funding for anything that we really wanted, so that's why we have an issue. I said the government denied us funding for upgrades to the sewage treatment plant. Yeah.
So that was actually discussed, Linda, at the previous council meeting.
What?
So yeah, that was at the previous council meeting. So that funding is on there. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were denied, unfortunately. So we will be applying again, but there's no guarantee of anything. So that's why I'm just saying, like, if we really want to try and get some stuff done, we really have to try and use this money now, because there may not be a whole lot given to us for next year. So
what was the amount again, Alice, that we have?
So right now the budget for 2024 was 18,000. And so there's been about $200 spent. So, but
there's the keychains.
That was plus what you're doing on the keychains now. Yeah. So you have about 17,000 still in there to work with until the end of December.
Do we have a ballpark figure for getting these paintings done? I know we haven't gone over quote, but do we have an idea?
We have sort of an idea. Let me just see if I can figure this out.
It's been a while since we did the one down.
Linda did talk to someone, actually. She's got a number, Linda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm just trying to read what I said here. Okay. So the panels are about $17.50 for the panel, and then the artwork is so much an hour. But then she said there wouldn't be much artwork involved because it's the photograph. So the photograph is just going to be, put on. So whatever time that takes, and then the machinery and stuff they have is more updated now even than they had before, so it wouldn't take very long. So that gives you an idea about one panel. And so one
2,500 maybe per panel.
Pardon?
Approximately 2,500 per panel. Would that be a safe?
We'll get something more specific when we say how many.
Yeah.
And so what size is one panel?
Well, one panel is a normal 4x8, and the space inside is 11 by 15. So I don't know whether we want a 4x8 inside that, or do we want a bigger one? Right. Because then that would be probably 3 panels, two plus one on the side to make it into one large one. But it's hard to tell unless you take a 4x8 panel and just hold it up to that section and look at it in terms of what that would look like.
Yeah. Trying to remember how big the one is downtown. Shoot. Because even that,
It's more than 4x8.
yeah, it's more exactly. And I think that would look small on
Yeah,
the curling
on the
club.
building, yeah.
Mhm.
So you
Right?
probably have to at least, I'm guessing maybe 4 panels in one big, rectangular
One
shape.
picture. That's what I would think too.
7,000.
Yeah.
What?
Hmm.
What did you say, Deb?
I said, so about 7,000 just for the panels,
Yeah. Just for
It's that
one.
big.
for
Just for
one, for,
one.
yeah.
Mhm. Hmm.
Like how big is the one across the street, on, Olive Place? It's pretty big. I don't know what he spent on it.
I mean, I can message Live to Wrap and see if they can give us like an idea on a quote as well.
Yeah, well, I talked to them. That's where I got the numbers from. So I just
Okay.
got an idea. So,
Okay, so that was from them. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, because that, yeah, I'm not sure we paid that much for the one downtown, but I mean, obviously prices have gone up in the last couple of years. So,
But this is the alley pan, which is
Mhm.
that almost indestructible material that'll last for a long time.
yeah,
The paintings that were originally on the side of the curling club were
Mhm.
approximately 10 feet tall by 16 feet, 18 feet long, and there was
Yeah.
3 of them.
Yeah, so
What
they probably
they
fit right inside those panels.
so
Yeah.
they were quite large.
Mhm.
So, you know,
That's 3 times a 4x8.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so you probably need 3 panels for each of those rectangular sections. They may start off with 1 and choose the.
Can they not go bigger
Or
than a
the-
4x8, Linda?
Oh, no, I'm just saying the panels themselves are 4x8. So you'd have to put them together in a whole grouping to create that size that you need inside that panel
Okay.
on the wall.
yeah. They would do it. They would print it in like sections, like
So it would be
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
4
And
pieces
then attach it
to
all
make,
together.
yeah.
yeah, to
Billboard.
make one
Yeah.
big mural.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it would go. So, which I think, yeah, you would need at least 4, at least to make any kind of
That's $10,000 for one,
for
Yeah.
one mural.
Yeah. Man, nothing
But
is
if you have to
cheap.
pay somebody to paint something, you're gonna be looking at more than that, so that's.
Yeah.
No matter which way you do it, you're gonna get into a fairly significant cost.
Yeah.
But that's just something that's gonna last a long time because of the material that it's made of.
Yeah. Really wish the paintings were, I don't know, preserved better. Darn it.
It's not that they weren't preserved well, it's the material that they were painted on, unfortunately, just being painted on plywood. So
Because
there's
it's
just
graded
not
over
really,
time on
there's
weather.
just not really a great way to preserve it.
Right. Ah, that sucks. Darn. 'Cause they were so nice. And it was really nice along that building. Like when you drove in, because it's kind of like a gateway, right? It's near as you enter in town. So it was really pretty.
Now, the other thing, I was just thinking, the way we did the one on the wall in Jack Downing Park, we could ask them to give us an idea of what it will cost to do that with that material on the concrete. Because it's the
Right,
same thing,
right,
concrete there and
right.
concrete on the wall.
Could be a little bit cheaper
And
because
then,
you don't need the allopaint at that point, right?
Yeah, right.
And we own the building, so we can ask council and get approval if we need to. So
Right.
that's nice because it's hard when we don't own the building because then you have to get the approval from the building owner, which is why we don't have anything on the west side of town. So, but because the town owns the curling club building, I believe.
Well, I can call tomorrow and see if we can get a rough idea, again, black and white,
Okay.
with the same material that was used for the other one that ended up being a bit of color in it.
Right.
So it may be less because it's not colored.
Yeah. Yeah, or like you said, because it's gonna be applied right to the building, we
Yeah.
might save a little bit there, for sure.
Yeah.
And that
You
could bring the
will,
cost.
you will have to get multiple quotes before going forward.
Well, yeah,
You have
no,
to have a
but just to
minimum.
get an idea.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm just
Approximate
letting the
cost.
committee, I know you and I talked about that, Linda.
Yeah.
I'm just making the committee aware
Yeah.
that, yeah, we do need a minimum of 3 quotes. So, you know, as much as we'd like to get this going ASAP, it is going to take some time to get the 3 quotes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. All right, maybe
But
we
it-
need to know 100% the size so that we can
Yeah.
give the same size to each company we reach out to. And you know, obviously we'll choose our photos tonight, so at least we have that. We can send them the photos so that they can have a look at the artwork that we're looking at. And then maybe 2 different kind of quotes, one with Alipane, one with just applying it right to the wall. And then that way
Yeah.
we have as much information as possible when it comes back.
Yeah.
So what are we
So
thinking
back
then?
to the photograph. Do we want to look at the photo? Is there a way to show the photographs in a smaller version all together so we can look at what we do and don't like?
it would be very difficult. I would have to finagle and resave
So why
it.
don't we start back again at the beginning of them? Say what we like and don't like it as we go along, and then we'll eliminate them down to a certain number.
Okay, so that's the first one.
I like that one. It's almost a little too rural.
It's a cheese factory, apparently.
Huh.
I like that one.
So do I.
It's kind of odd to think that there was a car dealership down the main street.
I know, right? Like a garage right in the
Yeah.
main area of the town.
This is my favorite.
Yeah, I like that one too.
I like this one.
Yeah, that's yeah.
That one we already have.
Yeah.
That one's not bad, but there's other ones I like more than that. And then that one is just, I mean, it's cool, but it's,
Yeah.
And I like that one too,
No, that
because
was-
we had painted on the curling club previously. So that one is cool.
I like that one, but I'm wondering, is it too busy for when people are driving into town as like trying to concentrate on, like, is there too much going on for a
Well, the idea is
drive-by?
to look at it, so. Even if you have
Yeah.
to keep coming by, you'll see it all the time and see something new each time you go by. I guess. Not
Okay.
crazy about that.
And that's the last of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a winter one that was
Yeah.
painted. Can you see that one? Did it flip for you?
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's the other one that was painted there. And then that's the other one that was painted there.
Which was the parade.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think my vote would probably be for the Chevrolet dealership and the parade. So that's just me personally. Those are the 2 that I like.
Yeah, I like the same too.
Okay. And just to clarify, Lindsay, just because we're not voting right now, but just because I'm making notes, the parade, do you prefer the photo or do you prefer the painting?
I mean, I like the painting because it's colorful.
Okay.
And-
And now flip back to the parade.
Yeah.
Second, there's the black and white version.
Yeah. So, I
We
mean,
could do the same thing as we did with the other mural and add
Yeah.
some light
add some color to it. Yeah. If we could add like some color like we did to the last mural we did, then the photo would be perfect.
Okay, and Linda, you said you liked those same too?
Mhm.
And did you want color added to the dealership as well, or leave that one?
Yeah, it'll just be like very subdued. It's not gonna be a lot of color.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
And
then
I would be fine with,
Deb, which two did you, or which ones did you like?
My favorites actually were the train station and the downtown one that almost looked like a painting.
It was amazing.
I think that's the postcard.
That, not that one.
Not that one, not that one.
That one?
Yeah.
That one and the train station.
Hmm.
I just like how it says Shelburne on it.
Mhm. Well, we have that image on the wall of, what do you call it?
Jack
Cross-
Downing.
Jack
Is
Downing.
that the one at that Jack Downing Park?
No, it's the one across from the town hall.
Oh,
It's
is it?
called-
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Oh,
One across from town hall is the actual train, right? Pulling up to the train station. So it's similar.
yeah.
It's similar, not the same. but
Okay,
No.
so you want
Yeah,
something a
okay.
little different, yeah.
Okay, and then you said you liked this one.
I really
That
like
would-
that one too, yeah. And it's
Mhm.
got some color in it already.
Yep. Yeah, I like that one too. I mean, I mean, it's hard to make the decision actually because they are all very nice.
And
This is
Bella,
my, this is my favorite, but I like all of them.
which
this
one
is
is
my-
your favorite? This one?
This one right here, yeah, the one with the horses.
So why don't we
Okay,
pick
and then-
that one for sure?
So this one for sure.
This one for sure.
Crazy how little the main street has changed.
Mhm.
I was just
There's
thinking
no
that.
horses walking down the street.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes
Well, sometimes there's some
Yeah.
men going down the street.
Yeah, so I mean, we're kind of, I guess,
So
split
that's-
50.
That's three, basically, if two people agree, well, you're all agreeing on this one?
100%.
Okay, and then we have two people saying this one,
Yeah.
Anybody else like
and
it?
And then the parade. So do we want to see, well, I guess,
this one.
yeah, it'd be nice if we could afford two,
Mhm.
but I guess it just depends on the application and the size.
Yeah.
What was the balance again in our account?
It's about 17,000.
Mhm. We should have enough to do it too.
Yeah, I would
But
hope
if
so.
if you don't get it done before December 31st, then that money is not there.
Well, that's why we should, if we've got the decision made, then it's just a matter of
Yep.
having it done.
We can always, it may not, the application might not happen until the spring, but if we pay our deposit and whatnot, then the money's basically allocated. So as long as we do that, we
I
should be.
think it's only September now. It's not gonna take that long to get it done. So we should be able to do it before winter comes.
Yeah, it just, like I said, it just depends on what the weather does, right? Because with the vinyl, you have to have a certain temperature. It can't be too cold and it also can't be too hot.
Right.
So, I mean, usually fall would be fine, but then we also do see a lot of rain in fall. So it just, it could be fine, but it also could be tricky. It just depends on how the weather goes. So, yeah. So I would say, we should hopefully be able to afford two, and then that way we can each get one that we really like, right? We can get the downtown image, and then from there we can decide, which one we like out of the two that, the parade or the dealership. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, we could maybe do two. And then we'll just save the spring for maybe the third one in the middle or something like that. And that maybe could be if we find the image of the snow. But then that one's also a downtown image. So I don't know if we want two downtown images on the same building. But it could, I mean, sort of fiddle, the parade is downtown too. So I guess if we did the 2 downtown images on the outside and then maybe say the dealership in the middle, then that could kind of balance it out a little bit if we did something like that. But yeah, so I think first things first is just to try to get some quotes, a couple other quotes, and maybe we can send those off through email. I don't know, Alice, could we vote through email, or would we have to maybe call a special meeting?
To decide on the quotes,
Yeah.
to make a decision on the quotes, you have to do it within a meeting, yes.
Okay, so we would have
But
to
you
kind
can
meeting.
send out for the quotes, and once the quotes are back, once we have a minimum of 3 quotes back, then we can, depending on when, we can either call a special meeting or it would be the October meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, so what size are we thinking then, so we can make sure that the businesses that we send this information out to, they all have the same
So do we
information?
want the size to be the interior of the 11 by 15, like the ones that were painted on there originally?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Makes
Like
sense. I was wondering.
Yeah. Yeah, like that would be okay. It'd be nice and big, so it's visible, right? I mean, we definitely need something big because it's a big wall. So yeah, I don't know again how much that's gonna cost, but I guess this is why we're deciding.
Well, 11 by 15 is the equivalent of 5.2 4 by 8s. If they
Right.
can,
Yeah, except it won't be Alupan, it'll be the other
Yeah.
process, which might be less money,
It could be cheaper. Yeah,
but we'll find out.
yeah. Do we want to offer a secondary size? Just in case. So if we want to come down a little bit in size, like do a 10 by 12.
Let's look at the worst case scenario first and see what
Okay.
that equals, and then we'll know from there whether we should adjust it at all.
Okay,
That's my opinion.
perfect. Okay. So, does someone want to sort of take that on, or do you want like me to just reach out to a couple other companies, or because we'll have to reach.
If you know the other company, well, I've been dealing with the Tarap, so
Yep.
if you want to find 2 other companies and have 3, that's good.
Okay, I'll
Maybe
see about, yeah, like who else. Maybe I'll do a little Google search and see who else offers it in the area. And I'll reach out to them. And so we want, what was the size again? 11 by 13?
1 by 15.
11 by 15. 11 by 15. Okay. Let me just jot that down quickly so I
is
don't.
this something that a company like McCarthy Signs can do? Like they do the
You don't
billboards?
want to do that. It's very expensive. They're way overpriced.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they, I'll reach out to them and ask, but I'm not sure if they do something quite that large. But I'll reach out to them and ask.
And just ensure that whatever quotes that you get are in writing so that we can
Yeah.
share them. I won't attach them to the agenda, but I will share them with the agenda. So
Yeah.
all the committee members have the information for when we meet to discuss them.
Okay.
The size depends on the format of the file.
Okay, so 11 by 15, and we want to try and just apply directly to the brick.
Yeah, whatever the pros, I'll find out what the wording or the name of the processing is. I can let you
Yeah.
know.
Okay, apply to the brick. And then that way, hopefully it's a little bit
Can you
cheaper.
get the quote for both ways, for on the brick and on, just get the quote for both ways so the committee has
Yeah.
the information.
Okay. Okay, yep,
Because that way too, right? Like council will have to approve it and then it shows council that due diligence has been done to look at all the options.
exactly. Perfect. Okay, I will do that. And then I guess we're gonna go with 100% for right now, the image of downtown. Is that what we're thinking of? Okay, just
What was that
because
again?
I may need that image sent to me if you can, Alice, just so I can include it in my
Yeah, can you send it to me as well?
Yeah,
Do you
and
have
then I
my-
would reach out to
Uh-huh.
someone. I could say, this is the image we
Yeah,
want,
you
and
can just got my
the size
email.
we want, and then blah blah blah, so that they can give us an accurate quote. Okay, perfect. Do we need any kind of resolution for that? I don't think so, right? Because we haven't really made any decisions. We're just okay.
Got something on, we can vote on it
Perfect.
then.
Okay.
Okay, so the next item is the back lane project and an update on the research of Mr. Rose.
So the committee received an email from me with the research that the museum provided on Mr. Rose, because there had been some discussion about using Mr. Rose's name for the final back lane. But the committee had not yet made a decision on that one.
Yes. I did read it. I'm a little torn with, I don't know. I kind of wish there was a bit more information on his maybe efforts or works as like within the town. You know what I mean? Like if he was part of Rotary, or if he was if he did something with regards to that, right? Like if he belonged to the Fall Fair Board, if he was ever
So I put the whole Rose history book together. That's a pretty
Yeah.
big deal.
That
Yeah,
is
I
a nice,
guess.
very
Yeah.
thorough, detailed history book.
Yeah, which is awesome. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not
I
saying
think
it
it's
wasn't
several businesses. So,
right. Yeah, I mean, so if we feel that that's qualification enough, then yeah, then I don't see anything negative with regards to his heritage or legacy or whatnot in the town. So that's a good thing. I'm not sure. I'm assuming that there might be some lineage within the town that maybe we just have to reach out
yeah,
to.
what's his name lives on
Okay.
street. I think is his grandfather or something like that. Can't remember his name.
Yeah. So that's something we would just have to, I guess, follow up on as well, is just making sure that we get approval to use his name.
How many back lanes have we got left to?
This is, there's only one left.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So it's up to you guys. I don't know if you still want to hold off a little bit to find another candidate and vote on it then, or if you're okay with this, then we vote tonight and then we just look into making sure that we can use his name, and then that's that. The last back lane will be named, and we can finish the I think we have a brochure, I believe, right, about the back lanes, so we can finish that.
Okay, do we want to do a motion for that? Deb? Seconded by. Somebody want to second it?
Sure, I can second it.
Okay.
Did we have
Lindsay?
someone seconded it?
Yes,
Okay, good.
okay. All in favor? Okay, and that's carried. And any new business?
Linda, you did just skip over the budget. We do need a decision on a budget for
Wait.
next year.
Okay, where's the budget? Oh, yeah, up there. How did we do that?
5.2. I thought you wanted to wait till after the murals. That's why I didn't say anything till now.
Okay. All right, so what was our budget this year?
It was, you had requested 18,000.
This year for, like, we had 18,000 or we?
You were approved for 18,000 in 2024.
Okay. So do we want to do the same amount and see what happens, or what's the opinion or feeling of everybody?
Shouldn't we talk about some of the things we want to do in 2025 and what they're going to cost?
Well, we can do more of the other things if we have any money, but it doesn't sound like we're gonna have much money.
Yeah.
Like I'm seeing lots about arts and heritage, but nothing about culture. Have we done anything for culture this year or?
No.
No?
Every time we decide to try and do something, it never gets done.
Well, that was that event, but then we now have an events coordinator doing that. So they would take over that responsibility.
Who's doing the agricultural fair? Is that the town?
That's not really my idea.
There's some fall fair happening. I see
Yeah, it's
posters.
happened to you.
That's not, is that you, Lindsay?
Yeah, the Fall Fair is a separate entity from the town entirely. It's nonprofit, volunteer-based organization that's been running for about 157 or 156 years now.
And like, that's kind of like the culture, yeah, of Shelburne.
Yeah, it just is, does, the only thing is it just doesn't have anything to do with this committee. But it is, yeah, 100%. So, I mean, there were things that I used to run on my own. It was called like Savor Shelburne. It was sort of like a doors open kind of event. It was really cool. That engaged culture and arts and whatnot. I reached out to the local businesses and we sort of had it again, like a Friday night kind of thing where people could showcase their culture that was now within Shelburne. So for example, Jellycraft Bakery had their doors open and people could come in, and the owner of Jellycraft is Polish. So she had some food offerings that were specific to her heritage and culture. It was all just like little samples. It was free. And we had town hall open so people could come in and see the gallery. I had at the time Jason Riedel Needle, who was part of one of the I think it was possibly the LG production company. So he was there. He was painting some canvases. And he had his artwork out for everyone to see. And then we had the LG stage company in Grace Tippling Hall. They were offering some fun improv lessons, I guess you could say, and then sort of a little stage tour so you could go and see behind the curtains, you know, because people don't always get to see that, even though there's not a lot there. It doesn't matter. It's still fun for kids. So and there was, like I said, a little improv going on, so people were able to have fun with that. There was also, I had a canvas set up so people who were coming into the town hall could paint something on the canvas, and then it was sort of like a community art project. So that was kind of fun. Royal LePage had partnered with me with regards to a sidewalk chalk and painting on the sidewalk chalk for kids. We also did a short story contest. So for children, so they submitted, there was a couple of different age groups. They submitted their short story, and then I had a local author sort of judge the stories. And we gave out little medals and prizes for the winner of the short story contest. I did a little ghost walk tour with what were they called now? The Dufferin, they're a paranormal society. I think it's the Dufferin Paranormal Society. Tara owns that. So she came out and she did like sort of a little ghost walk tour and talked about some of the hauntings in town, like town hall, the library, the jelly house. At the library, we had an author there as well for the kids, and you could go in and you could do a little, you could make a little pie out of Play-Doh. Gosh, what else went on that day? That might be
all
it.
in one day.
You're
Yeah.
tired listening to so many.
I know, and I ran it
I'm
all by myself.
exhausted.
I organized and ran it all by myself. So it was really fun, and you know, I wish that there was a bit more participants within the town. I didn't have a lot of people come out, so I only ran it the 1 year. Yeah, I mean, something like that would be really, really fun if we can engage, you know, the downtown businesses as well to do sort of like a doors open event where people can come in and they can see the workings of the businesses, and maybe like have some samples or a sidewalk sale or something like that. Yeah, and just same thing, right? Have the town hall open where people can come in, they can see the art gallery, they can maybe have a little tour of the stage in Grace Tippling Hall. Maybe they can even have a tour of the council chambers because they've never been in and seen the council chambers. It's just sort of a way to engage the community, and that sort of ties in all aspects of arts and culture.
Yeah.
And my budget was like, I think I did it all for like $300, and that was sort of the cost of the sidewalk chalk and the medals for the short story contest. So it's not like it's a lot of money to do something like that. It's just
A lot of work, a lot of participation.
yeah. So it's mainly just effort and time. So, if that's something we would be thinking about, we could definitely aim for something in the spring to do something like that. Kyle's not here, unfortunately, to talk about, the potential of continuing on with his idea of the beer tasting or brewery tasting kind of event. So that's, I can't really speak to that, unfortunately,
So-
but
So my
Yeah.
question to you, Lindsay, you probably know the answer, maybe you don't, I don't know. Is with the new hiring of the event coordinator, how would they fit into things that we make do?
yeah, I guess that's kind of tricky because we haven't really seen where that's going to go yet, because it's a new position. So, I'm assuming that particular person is going to sort of take over, the Friday nights, for example, that are taking place in town. Currently, we had 5 this year. So I'm assuming this events coordinator would sort of take over maybe the organization of that. Likely, this position would be helpful with joining the committees, right? And taking places, the place of, like, say, Alice, for example, or Jamie, with helping us as a committee sort of run events. I don't know if it may go a little bit more like Parks and Rec as well. Like, I know it says events, but I think we're looking at potentially also trying to facilitate some more Parks and Rec for the town. And unfortunately, with the way that the CDRC operates as a board, it looks like we may, as the town, have to develop our own Parks and Rec, and honestly, it seems weird, but rent the facilities at the CDRC in order to have a little bit more arts and recs programming happening in the town. So I would assume at that point, the events, position would likely be a little bit responsible for that as well. So, it's a position that we could maybe use in conjunction with the committees, like draw off his or her strengths, and get help per se. But I don't think that it would be, if we wanted to do something as a committee events wise, I don't think we would just sort of push it on to that position. It would still be our job to, create the event, and then we could just draw maybe off of that position for from help or information.
Right. Okay, is there any new business, or anybody have anything they want to bring forward before we end the meeting?
We do need a resolution from the committee requesting a specific dollar amount for the budget for next year. And we do need that tonight because
Okay, so if we make a motion to the effect that we would like to just request the same amount, because there's no point asking for additional money. If someone has a
Yeah,
different opinion.
I'm just torn with maybe if we, like I said, I'm always asking for more money because I want to do things, right?
Yes,
But I feel like council might be just maybe a little bit more accepting if we drop down like a tiny bit to maybe 15. And then that way we still have, you know, a good amount of money to, you know, potentially do something like a doors open kind of event or a Savor Shelburne kind of event. You know, for example, if we wanted to attend Canada Day with a booth, you know, that's promoting the heritage aspect in town. We may or may not have to pay for the booth, right? Because of that. The fall fair, for example, you know, we have the keychains and we have the walking brochure and we have, you know, some other things that, you know, like I said, I talked about magnets, right? About making some heritage photo magnets that we could give out as well to people. That wouldn't be a very expensive event or a very expensive item either. You know, but it's just something again to hand out. I did speak previously too about a button maker. I know when I was up at the Heritage event in Southampton, the Heritage Committee there they had purchased this button maker and the kids loved it. Oh my gosh, there was so many kids making buttons. And they were you know, they had a set size circle and the kids would draw in the circle, and then they would take it up and they would make it into a button for them. And it's just, it was so fun. Like the kids absolutely loved it. So, you know, even if we have money set aside, you know, for something like that, purchasing the button maker, once we purchase it, we own it, which is great. And then we just need to make sure that we keep the supplies, so that, you know, when we do an event, if we do an event like Canada Day or the Fall Fair, we actually have, you know, a couple of things to maybe give out to people like the keychains and the magnets, but then we also have an activity to offer the kids, right? To get them engaged in the heritage aspect, of the town as well, and that also ties in with the also arts and culture, because they would be drawing and they would be, you know, making their buttons and things like that. So we could have, you know, even pre-made images that they could just color in, or they could completely design their own, right? So that's kind of the arts part of the whole arts and culture aspect. So I don't know, I can't remember how much a button maker was. I think it was around 500, but, and that came with some supplies, but I would have to look into that again. So yeah, so those are just things like, you know, again, just sort of off the top of my head that we could be looking at for 2025 in order to justify, you know, wanting $15,000. We could also still mention to council about wanting another mural, you know, or something of that nature. I mean, again, if we're looking at any kind of event, I would love to do sort of an art in the park, which would be great. And we could have, say, local artists come out with their, you know, photos or their paintings and use Jack Dowling Park in order to allow them to set up a little mini booth and, you know, sell their stuff. You know, or secondary to that would be an art class. Right. So again, we use Jack Dowling Park and we have a local artist come out and everybody, you know, maybe they pay us a very small fee, $20 or something of that nature. They get a canvas and they get a place to sit. And then the artist sort of details how to paint, you know, a certain image. And then the people follow the artist and paint their own image. Right. So something like that would be really cool, you know, to bring in the arts part of the Arts and Culture Heritage Committee that we're part of, and yet utilize sort of Jack Dowling Park as well and the downtown core. So, I mean, that would be something else that we could sort of use as justification for you know, needing $15,000. We would have to pay the artist, right? So depending on how much the artist costs to come out.
So you set a budget. Do we need to outline everything in detail, or we're just saying that generally
No,
speaking,
I mean,
what we're
I
planning
think
to
it's
do?
just, yeah, like I think it's just sort of stuff to have in the back of our mind because council's going to ask. They're going to say, what do you want this money for? Right. So I think if we have a little sort of mini list of things that we're thinking of for 2025, then at least we can sort of justify the, you know, wanting the $15,000, right? Because if we just come to them and we just say we want 15 grand, they're gonna, every one of them around that table, I know it, is gonna say why. Why do you want it and why do you need it? And if we don't have any any ideas as to what we'd like to do for 2025, they're going to tell us no. You can actually, we'll give you 5,000, or you can actually just remain with the 18 that you currently have and do what you can with that and revisit us in 2026. So I think
Well,
that's
also the BIA could contribute a portion of that, thing is most of that would be taking place downtown. So we could have partners, not just be us all by ourselves.
Yep, for sure, for sure. It's always beneficial when you include, you know, other people and other funding sources as well. So those are just things that, you know,
Want to pick a number?
past, right?
15,000, does that sound like something everybody wants to do, or what's everybody's thought? Bella?
Well, you know, my sentiments, I feel like the Arts and Heritage Committee is extremely important. Especially for a small town, we have to make more of an impact in the world. I think that I don't want to ask for less money and maybe get a budget together, which I can volunteer to put together.
What was that again?
I can volunteer to put the budget together with Alice's help, since
Okay.
I'm such an accountant. I don't know. That's my thoughts, Lindsay.
Alice?
So we're not asking for like a detailed budget or anything, Bella and Deb. Just what we're asking for is like a dollar amount and saying our intent is to use it for ABC.
Okay.
That's all we need
Be
is a
straightforward.
dollar amount. So like, for example, last year it was said the Arts, Culture and Heritage Committee requests a budget for 2024 of $18,000 to be used for mural projects, approximately $4,000, and arts and brews events, approximately $5,000, and completion of the Back Lanes project, approximately $4,000, and other miscellaneous projects. So it just outlined to council, this is why we're asking for this amount of money. So if we follow that example, X
Yeah.
amount of dollars to be used for A, B, and C, and we're anticipating A would be X dollars, B would be Y dollars, and C would be.
Right.
Debbie,
So
had your hand up?
if we have the price for the mural in advance of that meeting,
Right.
you know, we can say, you know, the cost for one mural this year was $10,000, and we're anticipating the same for next year. I don't
That
know
we
if have
won't
that.
have, we won't have it by then because I have to have it tonight because
Oh,
Treasury is already working on the budget to take to council on October 7th,
Okay, so what was this year's total budget? 15,000?
18,000.
18? So why don't we just ask for 18? That way we're not asking for more. We're just asking for the same amount. And then we just break it up into the same areas that we have, maybe something new and add it into there for that total.
And then if they reduce it down to 15, it's where we thought we'd probably end up anyway.
Then it's
Well,
Lindsay's
well-
prediction is right.
We'll all come out to the meeting and look at everybody and make them say yes.
You have to just
that's fine.
practice. I'll get my placards ready saying not fair.
You're what?
I'll get my union.
Okay, do that.
Yeah, say,
Your
not
sign.
fair. I want
We
$18,000.
want 18.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is the committee wants to request 18 to continue with the mural project.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Promotion of arts and culture within the town.
Yep.
Through
And
miscellaneous, through events.
Through activities and or events.
Okay, and
including the
miscellaneous.
heritage related events that would be part of that. Like a walking
Sorry,
tour.
including the what, Linda?
Say a walking tour, like we're adding in the heritage part of it along with the arts.
Yeah, the walking tour, like the brochure and that's already done. So there shouldn't
Yeah.
be any budget
So there wouldn't be
needed.
any cost. No.
Yeah, the budget for that would have been kind of in this year, and it's literally just to create the signs for the last 3 lanes that we named. So,
Okay, I don't know what
Update.
yeah,
kind of cost that is. What kind of
yeah,
cost
we
is
create
that?
those
Do we know?
plaques.
Do we know what the cost is for those plaques?
We have the money for those plaques set aside
Okay.
already.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay,
So
so then we
One-
need somebody to move that and second that.
Who would like to move that?
sure.
Lindsay, and seconded by Deb? Okay,
Yeah.
all in favor? And that's carried. Okay,
Thank you.
okay, so have we missed anything? Or are we all up to date here?
I think we're good now.
Okay, nothing, no new business. No. If not, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Okay, Debbie and Bella seconded.
Ella, don't put your hand up so fast.
You think you're trying to get rid of us?
It's only-
All in favor? And that's carried. Great.
Perfect. All right, thanks.